Hello everybody, I'm Steve Velocity and I'm going to actually build myself a shed, and this is pretty much my story here. So what we have here is my garage, and actually it was a lot fuller about 30 minutes ago, but I started taking some of the wood I'd collected for the project and started kind of working on it. So basically, I'm going to walk around to the backyard here, and this whole project started out when I decided to build a chicken pen for my wife. So I started collecting pallets, and I thought, hey, I'm going to make, and I only had a few at first because I thought I'm just going to make her a nice chicken pen out of pallet material, and all of a sudden she decided she didn't want it. But between that and now, I had started reading or looking at YouTube videos that were teaching me how to actually do this. And I got the bug. I started seeing people making pallet sheds, and I started seeing the potential there. So obviously I work at a place where I can get lots of pallets, and so that's what I started doing. Currently I have 69 wood pallets, and I've got 11 aluminum metal pallets on the back of my truck over there. And I'm not really high on resources. Didn't want to spend a whole lot of money. I can't afford a $1,200 shed, so I said, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and see what I can do based on what I can find. I found, now these are long pallets, so I've got like 6 or 7 large sheets of plywood, so that takes care of the flooring and the roof. And then there's a lot of 2x4 stock in these skids. And of course, there's a whole lot of, I've got, I don't know if you can see it very well, but these particular skids have 1/2-inch plywood on the top. So that takes care of all my walls. The biggest problem is how to extract the wood out of here. And there was a YouTube user who had actually built a very nice shed out of, I think, red oak. It's probably the first one you're going to see if you actually do a Google search and go to YouTube on it. And he said it was better off to use a Sawzall. I had to at least try, and you can tell when you take these pallets apart and you try to pry it with a bar, you're just going to bust everything up. So it really is a pain in the butt, like he said. So I went out and bought myself a Sawzall. Now the amazing part of this story is that from the outset, as I began to sort of get materials together, all of a sudden out of the blue, this material, which this never happens, there was a school out in Tennessee here that has a playground full of this stuff. It's pea gravel, but there's a lot of different sizes of the pea gravel in there. And there's some things I can do to actually, help that become more stable. But they were giving it away for free along with some old playground equipment. And so I went and got 2 truckloads. And then these metal skids, these are aluminum, so they're very, very corrosion resistant. And there's also places where that I could actually put some pretty sturdy sheet metal screws in there. And as I began to think about it, I realized that these metal skids, being corrosion resistant, and let's say I've got tarp on the bottom of the ground there, and then I've got the pea gravel on there, and I've got the skids leveled out and attached. And then I've got the 4x4s that I put on top of that. And then I secure those. And then I take the plywood that I've got on those long skids, and I've actually got a pretty solid foundation there. So this all began to steam in my head, and I just continued to go back to Craigslist. And what's amazing is when people start finding out you're doing stuff, they actually try to help you. So I actually had a friend at work, and he gave me some felt to help dry in. And then another lady on Craigslist, she had these 2 bundles of roofing material, shingles, and I think it's going to take about 4 total to do the roof. Now this is going to be an 8x10 shed. And I'm not a novice. I mean, I know some carpentry, mainly rough carpentry. I really can't do a lot of heavy-duty finish carpentry. But the story is basically just how I'm able to actually